All right, so let's dive into another section of the old journal here. All right, here's a little entry about courage. I think I was on a flight home from Guadalajara, Mexico, December 23rd, Monday, December 23rd, 2024. Flying home from Guadalajara with Hickory. I said we had an absolutely amazing adventure. I said courage is greater than logic. Notes from the trip. I said, I think there are billionaires that would give it all to feel and see all of this. That's something I had written at some point on our way across Mexico. What a beautiful ride it was. My next note was, do things that require courage. You will rise to the occasion in moments where you fear you won't. And in moments where you think you can't, people will be there to help. From experience, by a large margin, people want to help, not hurt. Courageous acts not only strengthen your faith in yourself, but your faith in humanity. That was one note. Man, I'm going to read that whole thing again. Once again, I haven't revisited this since this trip. Do things that require courage. You will rise to the occasion. And in moments where you fear you won't, people will be there to help. From experience, by a large margin, people want to help, not hurt. Courageous acts not only strengthen your faith in yourself, but in humanity. I was in a good place here, clearly. My next note. I'm not scared of dying. I'm just scared of not living. I'll leave that one and let it be. Next note. Logic tells you that love is foolish. Courage tells you to do it anyway. From how I see it, very few beautiful things are the result of logic. And nearly all that is beautiful and worth it in this life requires a courageous, illogical leap of faith. But paradoxically, that means the courageous path seems to be the only logical way to live. I'll read that one again too. Clearly I was leaning on a lot of courage on this trip, because it was certainly an illogical trip. So let's read that one again. Logic tells you love is foolish. Courage tells you to do it anyway. From how I see it, very few beautiful things are the result of logic. And nearly all that is beautiful and worth it in this life requires a courageous, illogical leap of faith. Paradoxically, that means that the courageous path seems to be the only logical way to live. I would say that explains a lot of my structure for my life. And then this last one, it's funny. I just take a left turn. It says, cookie cutter neighborhoods look like graveyards from a plane. Sorry, I wrote graveyards, all sorts of messy. Cookie cutter neighborhoods look like graveyards from a plane. I spent a lot of time in interior design and architecture. That's been another part of my life, and so I love unique and beautiful and well thought out design, I guess is what that was. It's funny, clearly my brain was on one path and then just took a hard left turn there with that last one. But I stand by it, damn it. Yeah, this one, that note about, obviously my notes on courage versus logic are pretty clear, but that note I had about love. Logic tells you love is foolish. Courage tells you to do it anyway. I guess that's the only thing I'll go into a little deeper is, deep down, intrinsically, we all know that every love, no matter how great, it's gonna end. There was a quote, I can't remember what it's from, but it all ends in tears, one way or another. And I guess if you're lucky enough to have a great one, then that comes with death. If you're really lucky, then you die together, I guess. But but it all ends in tears. Friendships, romance, all of it. So it takes courage, takes a leap of faith, even getting a dog, all of it. That's a courageous act where you know you're signing yourself up for a world of hurt and heartbreak at some point, and there's no getting around it. It's just part of it. That's a courageous move. All of you out there that are in love, falling in love, want to be in love, you got to have some stones on you, men and women. So yeah, that's what I meant by that. But it's the most beautiful thing there is, and most beautiful things do require courage. And I'm just going to read my favorite one of these again to finish off and leave you with it. Do things that require courage. You will rise to the occasion, and in moments where you fear you won't, people will help. From my own experience, by a large margin, people want to help, not hurt. Courageous acts not only strengthen your faith in yourself, but in humanity. Like I said, I must have been in a good place there with that one. I appreciate myself for that one. Not in a cocky way. Yeah. So there you have it. I appreciate you all.